Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Bexar County Court at Law number 6 from the Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court. I'm Judge Wayne Christian. Today we have our motion to revoke probation docket, and it is approximately 10:30 a.m. Representing the state is Mr. Eddie Villarreal, and representing the Bexar County CSCD is Ms. Susan Gross, who I will swear at this time. Ms. Gross, please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony we're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. The cases we have set for hearing today are cause 643-685, State of Texas versus Catherine Verdeja, and cause 643-698, State of Texas versus Catherine Verdeja, represented by Mr. Dale Hill. Cause 671-908, State of Texas versus Gabriel Chavez, represented by Mr. Adam Cortez. Cause number 663-284, State of Texas versus Fidencio Gonzalez, represented by Mr. Miguel Hernandez. Cause number 814-285, State of Texas versus Michael Adams, represented by Mr. Hector Gonzalez and Ms. Claudine Espinosa. And cause number 640-305, State of Texas versus Ismael Rosas, once again represented by Mr. Hector Gonzalez and Ms. Claudine Espinosa. And cause 637-421, State of Texas versus Taylor Murphy, represented by Ms. Catherine Valenzuela. We also have two motions on modification of pretrial bond. State of Texas versus Lorena Trevino, cause 666-493, represented by Ms. Linda Corley. And State of Texas versus Leroy Milligan, cause 637-061, represented by Ms. Linda Corley. Okay, at this time, let's take up Ms. Verdeja's cases. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's take up Fidencio Gonzalez. No, stop.
No.
Michael Adams. How about that? We got Hector today, or we got Claudine? Who we got?
I'm here,
Hector.
Judge. Good morning. Good to see you.
Oh my, he's alive. Who knew? Good to see you, Hector. All right. Let me find Mr. Adams. This is cause number 814-285, State of Texas versus Michael Adams, represented by Mr. Hector Gonzalez. This is a first amended motion to revoke community supervision. The first document I'm looking at is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference, which purports to have both Mr. Adams and Mr. Gonzalez signatures on it. In fact, Mr. Adams, this is your signature on this document, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Mr. Gonzalez, as attorney for Mr. Adams, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you. The next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has the right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. And in fact, Mr. Adams, is this your signature on this document also, sir?
It is, sir.
Thank you. And Mr. Gonzalez, for Mr. Adams, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, Judge, it is.
Okay, once again, this is a first amended motion to revoke community supervision. My understanding, Mr. Gonzalez, is that this is an uncontested first amended motion to revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
Mr. Adams, in cause 814-285, on the first amended motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
Guilty.
True. Feeling true, Mike.
True. I'm sorry. True.
Court accepts the plea of true with an explanation. And Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Adams' probation?
Yes, Your Honor. This case originated as a deferred adjudication on October 8th of 2014, and it was reformed and he was placed on regular probation June 23rd of 2004. Since that time, the defendant has performed very poorly on probation in that he only reported one time, which was November 21st of 2014. He has since acquired 3 new arrests. He is awaiting a docket appearance on theft 20 to 500 check, theft of service 20 to 500 times 2. He has not made any payments. He has a balance of $6,836.41. And of that, restitution is $5,635.41 to the hot check division of the district attorney's office. He has not completed any of his 24 hours of community service. Because he only reported one occasion and it was so long ago, we have no drug tests on file. We have no proof of enrollment or completion of the theft class. And he was to be supervised here in San Antonio. This case did expire on October the 7th of 2016. And as far as his arrest history, in addition to the 3 cases that I've already mentioned, he also has a prior arrest for theft 20 to 500, false statement in reference to credit, and theft of service 100 to 750. His officer is recommending that his probation be revoked. In this case was not assessed a fine at the time of sentencing.
What was the underlying sentence on this case?
6 months.
Got it. Mr. Gonzalez, what are you requesting?
Judge, I conferred with Mr. Adams, and just so you know, we got the MTR a couple of days ago. Of the total amount due, the 6836 with 41 cents, 600 was supervisory fees, court costs were 481, and then the court appointed fee of $100, UA fee of 20. So the restitution owed to the hot check section is $5,635.41. Mr. Adams has spoken to some family members, and he's able to come up with the money to pay the restitution actually today, the $5,635.41. He could probably come up with the other amounts here in the next week or so. There are 3 other cases pending. They're older cases. So we dealt with this one first because he does have the warrant for it, and Pat put us on the docket with you to clear this up. He's planning to get a home equity loan against his house to come up with the funds to do with the other cases. And I told him, this comes down to repaying all these checks. So with the court's permission, he's able to pay the restitution in full today. We just didn't know how that would work as far as getting the payment to the court, whether it's through probation or online or how that works.
Okay, so my understanding is the defense representation to the court with regard to Mr. Adams is that he is ready, willing, and able to pay full restitution on cause number 814285 in the amount of $5,635.41 by 5:00 p.m. today. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
State recommendation.
Your Honor, the state agrees with probation's recommendation on revocation.
Mr. Adams, in cause 814285, the court accepts your plea of true with an explanation. I grant the state's motion to revoke your probation. I sentence you to 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, assess a $0 fine plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent. You're to report to the Bexar County Jail tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. to serve your sentence. However, if you pay in full the amount of restitution that you owe, $5,635.41, before that time, I will waive your jail sentence. I will not know you've done this. If you do it today, let your attorney know. He'll let me know. I'll confirm it through probation, and I will enter an order waiving your jail sentence. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Adams?
Nothing from the state, Judge.
Just a question from us, Judge. I
Sure.
believe he's got a credit card or credit cards. Does the probation department accept credit card payments, or how does that work down there?
It's a Susan
They
Gross
will
question.
not, no, they will not accept a credit card or a debit card on a theft case. It has to be cash, cashier's check, or money order.
Okay.
And he can pay that at the main office at 207 North Kamau, which is right across the street from the jail.
All right. Let me confer with him for a second in the chat room, Pat and Judge.
Okay,
So we can
and
figure
my
out
other
the
question
logistics of how to
then,
get that
I
money.
assume
Have the card.
Hector, he has 3 other warrants on those old cases. So, I don't know, Judge, do we set him for arraignment?
Let me back up. He had 3 other cases in this court. Is that correct?
Yes, Your
Yes,
Honor,
sir.
with 3 warrants.
And are they all theft cases?
They're all old cases, I'll tell you that.
Yes.
Hector, are you aware of exactly what the 3 pending cases are? Are they other theft cases that require
Yes.
restitution?
Yes,
They're
it's,
check
Judge,
cases.
it's theft 20 to 500 by check and theft of service 20 to 500 times 2.
Do we know what restitution is on the other 3 cases pending?
That's a DA question.
Yeah.
Luckily, we have one with us. Mr. Villarreal, would you look at that? I know you can't do it right now, but Just get Hector a number so he'll know what that is.
Yes, Judge, I can look into those theft cases.
I'll certainly, I guess there are bonds set on those cases already, are they not, Hector?
There are bonds, Judge. We just didn't post them yet because there was a remand without bond on this particular MTR.
Okay.
That's
But if I were guessing, the state would be open to restitution payment on those for dismissals possibly, Eddie. Is that your understanding? And I mean, obviously you don't have the cases in front of you. You can't finitely make an offer, but is that not your standard operating procedure on most theft by check cases and whatnot?
Yeah, Judge, that can be done. I'd have to look at the case for a firm offer on something like that. But yeah, that can be done. It's an option.
A really nice lawyer would lend his client all the funds necessary and we'd get this resolved immediately.
That's true, Judge. That's true.
All right, anything
What I
further?
would like,
Go ahead.
what I would like to do is, even though they are on fugitive status, I would still like to set them on an arraignment docket so we can keep them at least,
Current,
yeah, and we know,
That would help. Yeah.
is that okay with you, Judge and Hector?
Yeah, that would help. We can keep that process rolling.
Yeah, and that way we'll be checking to see what's going on with the cases. I will send you the resets on the other one.
Okay.
If he's in jail, then if he does not pay, we'll always send him to jail court.
And Judge, if we can deal with Mr. Rosas MTR, that'll be short and sweet, and then have Mr. Adams hold for a second so we can figure out the logistics of how to get that money.
Yeah, and I'll put you in a breakout room with Mr. Adams, but let's do the other MTR and get that one over with. If that's okay.
okay, and then Hector, after he pays today, you can either reach out to the judge or myself. And if you reach out to judge, he'll call me to verify that the money's been paid. And if you reach out to me, I'll verify it and then I'll call the judge and let him know it's been paid so that he can remove that jail sanction.
Sure.
But if it's not paid by 5 today, then he's got to report to jail tomorrow and serve his time.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get the logistics worked out.
Okay.
And Mike, if it just hold tight for a while.
Okay, let's, Hector, give me a couple of minutes. Let me sign some documents that Pat has sent me here and we'll jump into the next one. Okay, back on the record. We now have cause 640-305, State of Texas versus Ismael Rosas, represented by Mr. Hector Gonzalez. This is a motion to revoke community supervision. The first document I'm looking at is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference, which purports to have both Mr. Rosas and Mr. Gonzalez signatures on it. In fact, Mr. Rosas, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Gonzalez, as attorney for Mr. Rosas, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Judge, it is.
Thank you. Next document I'm looking at on this case is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. In fact, Mr. Rosas, is this your signature on this document also, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Gonzalez, as attorney for Mr. Rosas, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you. My understanding, Mr. Gonzalez, is this is an uncontested motion to revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
Mr. Rosas, and cause number 640-305 on the motion to revoke community supervision. How do you plead, sir?
True.
Court accepts the plea of true with an explanation. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Rosas' probation, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Rosas has been reporting as directed. We last saw him on January 19th, 2022. His case is paid in full. He did 30 and a half hours of community service, although he was only supposed to do 20. Thank you. He has completed DWI education, victim impact panel, and the CATSNP program. He completed Smart Start Mobile on November 5th, 2021. He has had 17 negative drug tests. He had 2 diluted drug tests back in June of 2021. And then he has had 1 positive drug test for alcohol that was on an ETG. In reviewing the case notes, his officer did advise him to get that confirmed, but it does not appear as though that was done. This case does expire March 24th of 2022. This is his second violation report, first MTR, and his officer is recommending that he be placed on weekly drug tests via the IVR line until his case expires March 24th.
And Mr. Gonzalez, what are you requesting on Mr. Rosas?
I'm sorry, Judge.
What is your request with regard to Mr. Rosas' probation?
Considering that he's done almost perfect the entire time and had this one hiccup, we would ask that the court just follow along with the recommendation of the weekly UAs. He's on short final here.
State recommendation on Mr. Rosas, please.
Your Honor, the state recommends scram and weekly UAs for the remainder of the probation period.
Mr. Rosas, in cause 640-305, the court accepts your plea of true with an explanation. I deny the state's motion to revoke your probation. Or you continued on probation with all prior requirements, amending conditions, adding the Smart Start mobile device again, times 6 blows a day. Once he shows me a clean 30-day period of time, Hector, at 6 blows a day without missing any tests and no high brax for alcohol, I'll crank him back down to 4 blows a day. I will not know he's done that. If he does that, he's got to tell you, you got to tell me, I'll confirm it through probation. Adding weekly UAs, once he shows me 4 clean weekly UAs, I'll put him back on monthly UA.
Judge?
Yep.
Speaking for probation, we would request that both of those be through the term of probation. He only has about 6 weeks left.
Correct.
And how many days are you giving him to obtain a Smart Start?
10. We gonna have any more problems, Mr. Rosas? You were so close.
I don't, this will be the end of it.
All right.
So,
Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Rosas?
Nothing from the state, Judge.
Nothing from the defense.
Good luck, Mr. Rosas. Yeah, go ahead, Susan.
Yep, Mr. Rosas, later today, you'll be receiving amended conditions from me. You need to sign those and return those. It'll be via email on Adobe Sign, okay?
All right.
You are familiar with and you know where Smart Start is, so get over there and either get a device or get on the list immediately.
So
Okay.
10 days to go grab the device.
Right, but
Okay.
you need to check on that today because they may not have a device available for 10 days and you don't want to come back here. So you need to do that today.
I will give them a call. Yes.
And then check with your officer, let them know that you were in court this morning and what transpired, and make sure that you keep up with her and get your next appointment set up, okay?
I have the appointment already, but I'll go to give her a call.
Okay, do you have any questions?
I think I'm all set. Thank you,
All
guys.
right, all right. You have
Mr.
a good
Rosas,
day.
one final thing on the record. I have the ability to put you in jail for 30 days as a condition of probation to get your attention. But I've known Mr. Gonzalez for about 30 plus years. I think he was 11 or something when I first met him. I'm not sure. And he has this standard operating procedure that he will take you in the back room and have a chat with you about what I will do to you if there are any more problems. And I assume you've already had that conversation, haven't you? So I don't think, you think the 30 days in jail is necessary, or you think that conversation will take care of it?
It's not necessary.
All right, that's what I thought. Thank you. Y'all are dismissed. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Thank you, Mr. Rosas. Good luck.
Judge, I'm going to hold on and talk to Mr. Adams
Sure.
and get the logistics figured out.
Sure.
Okay, I will put you in a breakout room with,
And Judge, that was a plea of true on Mr. Rosas, correct?
Correct. That's correct.
Okay, I didn't hear that. Thank you.
And are we ready on Mr. Murphy, Ms. Valenzuela?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. This is
Room
cause,
3 breakout room, Mr. Adams.
this is cause number 637-421, Theta, Texas versus Taylor Murphy. This is a motion to revoke community supervision. The first document I'm looking at is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference, which purports to have both Mr. Murphy's and Ms. Valenzuela's signatures on it. In fact, Mr. Murphy, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Valenzuela, as attorney for Mr. Murphy, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next document I'm looking at is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. Is this your signature on this document also, Mr. Murphy?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Valenzuela, as attorney for Mr. Murphy, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Valenzuela, my understanding is that this is an uncontested motion to revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Mr. Murphy, in cause number 637-421 on the motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
True.
Thank you. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Murphy's probation?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Murphy has been complying with reporting. We last saw him January 11th, 2022. He has paid $208 towards his fees. He has a balance of $1,427 and he is delinquent $157. We have no record of any of his 64 hours community service having been completed, and we have no record of enrollment or completion of DWI education, victim impact panel, or the CATSNP program. He has submitted to 2 negative drug tests. He failed to submit to 1 drug test. He's currently testing on Smart Start Mobile, where he is blowing 4 times per day. As alleged on the motion, he has had 6 skip tests and 2 additional skip tests since the motion was filed. He did have 1 warning BRAC, but that cleared out within a matter of minutes. His prior arrest record includes felony deadly conduct with a firearm, felony assault family choking, assault bodily injury family, and then this case. This is his first violation report, first MTR, and his officer is recommending that he be placed on weekly drug testing via the IVR line and that he shows substantial compliance within 30 days.
Ms. Valenzuela, what are you requesting?
We would, we're not contesting the, what the state's the probation's recommendation is. Mr. Murphy has completed, and he says he's provided, or he needs to, he has completed the DWI education course. There was a problem logging on with the victim impact panel, so he's gonna have to pay for that and do it again. He's only been on probation, Your Honor, since November 10th. So finishing all the classes is untenable for a hearing for today. His probation officer wanted him to do 1 at a time, but because he is here and he knows he shouldn't be, he is going to rev it up and do everything, get substantial compliance within 30 days.
Okay. Mr. Murphy, you've got 6 skips, which is not the end of the world, but it's still skips. What's the problem in being able to make all your big 4 blows a day on this machine?
So I got locked out of the machine. So I called my probation officer right away, and she said, pay the payment, it will turn on, but within 12 to 24 hours. And I guess that was the 6th missed test. As soon as it turned back on, I blew. The 1 UA that I missed, that was because nobody was there from 11:30 to 1 o'clock, which is my lunch break. My PO didn't tell me nobody would be there from that time. And on the 2nd UA, she said I was cleared on it. I'm not understanding why I have two failed UAs. I'm not understanding that.
Okay, I got it. Thanks. State recommendation?
It recommends increasing Start Smart Mobile for 6 times a day, weekly UAs, and substantial compliance within 30 days.
Okay, Susan, we have no high bracs for alcohol. We just have 6 skips. That's really the only issues we have on the Smart Start. Does that sound right?
Judge, he has a total of 8 skips. He had 6 alleged on the motion. He's had 2 since then. And then he failed to submit to 1 UA, and then he's had 2 negative drug tests. He did have one warning brac of 0.021, but it cleared out within a matter of minutes. So that's not going to be consistent with alcohol.
And on this failure to submit, does that just mean that Mr. Murphy didn't show up, or he showed up and he couldn't use the bathroom, or what does that mean?
That whether he showed up and didn't submit or he failed to show up, it just means that he was ordered to give a sample and he did not give a sample.
Okay, go ahead.
There's no record whether or not he showed up or not.
Mr. Murphy, what were the circumstances around missing a UA?
That was when I showed up, but nobody was there to take my UA. I even talked to the security guard. He said nobody. I even have it on video recording of me talking to him. Him telling me, yeah, there's nobody here from 11:30 to 1 o'clock, which I wasn't informed. That's why I had missed that one.
And the door was open, you could walk in the building, but there was nobody to talk to. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, and there's a sign outside, which I also took a picture of, saying from 11:30 to 1 o'clock, nobody to take urine analysis test. I took a picture of it.
Okay, not a problem. If that happens again, just call your probation officer and explain what's going on so we have that in advance.
Judge?
Yeah.
One other thing, he stated that those skip tests were due to a lockout. That is incorrect. His tests are all over the place. They're not even on the same day. He's got, like one in the morning and then one 3 days later. And then he's got like one on a Tuesday and one on a Wednesday. And so it's not.
I know, I understand Mr. Murphy was not serious about his breath testing program at that time, but we're very serious now, aren't we, Mr. Murphy?
That is incorrect, sir.
Mr. Murphy, in clause 637421, the court accepts your plea of true with an explanation. I deny the state's motion to revoke your probation or to continue on probation with all prior requirements, altering and amending conditions, adding weekly UAs. If somebody's there for your UA, call your probation officer and clarify it and go the next day and take a UA, okay?
Yes,
if you show me 4 clean weekly UAs in a row, I will take you off of weekly and put you back on monthly. Ms. Valenzuela, I will not know he's done that. If he does it, he's got to tell you, you got to tell me, and I'll confirm it through probation and change the order. And I want substantial compliance in all other areas within 10 days. That doesn't mean you finish them, but that means you at least register for any programs you're not registered for, which include the Victim Impact Panel, the DWI Education Course, the Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, and start your community service in some capacity. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Murphy?
And Judge, you're increasing his blows from 4 to 6.
I am not increasing his blows. I'm leaving it at 4, but I will give Mr. Murphy a little warning that I'm sure his attorney's already planted. Miss a couple more blows and see what happens, Mr. Murphy. We understand each other?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good to go. Catherine, anything else we can do for you? Your microphone's turned off.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck, Mr. Murphy. Thank you, Ms. Valenzuela. You are dismissed.
Mr. Murphy, you will receive a document in your email from me via Adobe Sign this afternoon. You need to sign that document and send it right back.
Yes, ma'am.
Get with your officer, let her know that you were in court this morning and that you need to be placed on the IVR call line for UAs. And get enrolled in your classes, but make sure that you return that document that I send you this afternoon, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Taylor, we'll talk later.
Okay.
Let me sign some more documents that Ms. Benavides has sent me.
And Pat, I had a question for Susan, if I could, on Michael Adams.
Yes, go ahead.
He's gonna get a cash advance on that card. Do they take cash payments or they prefer money order, cashier's check?
Whichever is easiest for him.
Okay. And since he's got these active warrants, I told him he probably shouldn't walk in there and make the payment. Can his mother-in-law or a family member make the payment for him?
They should be able to provide, make sure that you give whoever makes that payment the case number, the SID number, his date of birth.
Okay. We'll get all that.
Okay, Mr. Hernandez, are you ready to proceed on Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is cause 663-284, State of Texas versus Fidencio Gonzalez. This is a motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. First document I'm looking at is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference, which allegedly has both Mr. Hernandez as attorney and Mr. Gonzalez as client signature on it. In fact, Mr. Gonzalez, is this your signature on this document, sir?
You're muted, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. And Mr. Hernandez, as attorney for Mr. Gonzalez, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next document I'm looking at is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked as an adjudication of guilt following a deferred adjudication, and the defendant has a limited right of appeal. In fact, Mr. Gonzalez, is this your signature on this document also, sir?
Yes, it is, sir.
Thank you. And Mr. Hernandez, as attorney for Mr. Gonzalez, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, my understanding is that this is an uncontested motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
Sure.
Well, Your Honor, we have some issues that we'd like to clarify with the court because we think that there are some things that need to be done, need to be reviewed. And I wanted to ask the probation office about that.
Well, let me throw this in here. Basically, unless you're requesting a full-blown contested motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, which really entails us getting the original probation officer probably here. Otherwise, everything remains the same. He's welcome to plead true or not true to these with an explanation and then explain it. If y'all are willing to do that without having an uncontested motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, you're going to get the same result, best I can tell.
I'm okay with that, Mr. Gonzalez. Are you okay with that?
I'm fine with that, sir.
All right. So, and once again, he can plead either true with an explanation or not true with all these, and then he can clarify it during the term of our hearing. Mr. Gonzalez, in cause 663-284 on the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
True.
Court accepts the plea of true with an explanation. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Gonzalez probation? I remind you, you're still under oath.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Gonzalez has been reporting as directed. We last saw him on January 18th, 2022. He has paid $502 towards his fees. He has a balance of $483, and he is current at this time. We have no record of any of his 40 hours of community service having been completed, and we have no proof of enrollment or completion of either the stress class or the moral recognition therapy class at the CATS program. He has had 3 negative drug tests. He had 1 positive drug test for alcohol. He has 1 prior arrest for DWI. This is his first violation report, first motion to revoke. His officer is recommending that we add weekly drug testing via the IVR call line. And that's all.
And Mr. Hernandez, would you want to clarify at this time
Yes, Your
the
Honor.
discrepancies on the allegations of the state? Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. Speaking to my client, unfortunately, he was not aware. He apparently got sick about the time that the alcohol, November of 21, when he tested positive for alcohol, and he was taking some medications, And I don't believe he understood that there may have been alcohol in there. And that's why he felt that he had a positive for consuming alcohol. He claims he has not been doing that and does not do that. As far as the 40 hours of community service, my understanding is from him is that he has paid some of those hours down. Now, I'm not sure if he did or did not. He claims that's what he's done, and there should be a record of him paying. He claims at least 13 hours. And as far as the moral recognition, he has signed up. He has done 1 month's. The first month he's completed for the moral recognition therapy, and I believe he has a certificate for one other class.
The anger class, I have a certificate.
And so that's why, Your Honor, we would ask that the motion be dismissed and he be allowed to continue on probation. I don't believe he has a drug problem. So having weekly drug testing, I don't think would be, and I don't believe this was a drug case. So we would ask that not be enforced, but he's paid up, or he's paying, he's reporting. I think he's doing most everything that he needs to do, Your Honor.
And the drug tests are not for, well, it is for drugs, but we're also testing for alcohol, which is how we caught him with a positive UA in the first place.
And Susan, confirm, we only have one positive for alcohol on November 18th, 2021. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct.
State recommendation, please.
The state agrees with probation's recommendation and substantial compliance within 10 days.
Mr. Gonzalez, in cause 663-284, the court accepts your plea of true with an explanation. I deny the state's motion to revoke your deferred adjudication probation, or you continued on deferred adjudication probation with all prior requirements and no sanction at this time, although I have the authority to put you in jail for 30 days to get your attention. Will that be necessary?
Oh, it won't, Your Honor.
Oh, good answer, sir. Altering and amending conditions, adding weekly UAs. If you show me 4 clean weekly UAs in a row, I'll put you back on monthly UAs. I won't know if you've done that. Once you do that, you gotta let your lawyer know. He'll let me know. I'll confirm with probation and we'll put you back on monthly UAs. And I'm adding substantial compliance within 10 days, meaning anything you haven't registered for or started yet. You go ahead and provide your completion certificate for the APSC course to the probation officer, because I don't think they have it. You need to come up with a plan on your community service hours, either start doing them, or you can donate $10 an hour to court charities, which are primarily special operations wounded warrior organizations and family violence prevention organizations. And this moral recognition therapy course, which I'm not even sure what that does. Susan, what does that do? Because Mr. Hernandez and I might need to go to that.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good, Your Honor. I'm getting a lot out of it, to be honest with you.
Wonderful. So you're already active in that. So I'm telling you to do something and you're already doing it. So that's all good. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Gonzalez?
I just have instructions. Mr. Gonzalez, you will receive an email from me later today with your amended conditions via Adobe Sign. You need to sign those and return those back to me immediately, okay? Get in touch with Mr. Hinojosa and let him know what transpired today and that you need to be placed on the IVR call line. And he'll get your referral sent over there and get you started on that, okay? Do you have any questions?
No, I don't, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you.
All right. Good luck, Mr. Gonzalez. Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Y'all are dismissed.
Thank you, Judge. Everybody have a good day.
Thank you. And let's see, I've got some stuff coming from Pat, it looks like. I'm gonna take a quick break so I can sign some documents. Be right back.
Mr. Hill, what he's doing is he's printing out your client's paperwork so we can do yours.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Am I after him, Pat? or-
It's up to the judge.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sure. I was just checking.
I'll remind him.
Okay, thanks. I'm pretty forgettable, so I have to keep jumping in, you know.
Judge, I know you can hear me, so I'm just letting you know I sent you a definition of MRT, and I'm going to step away for a moment myself.
Okay.
I'm back, Judge.
Okay. Okay, back on the record. Are we ready on cause number 671-908, State of Texas versus Gabriel Chavez? Mr. Cortez. Is Adam with us? Mr. Cortez, can you hear me?
He was, Your Honor. Here
There he is.
Yes, I am. Of course I am, Your Honor.
All right, all good. This is cause number 671-908, State of Texas versus Gabriel Chavez, represented by Mr. Adam Cortez. This is a first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. The first document I'm looking at on this case is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference, which purports to have signatures of both Mr. Chavez and Mr. Cortez. Mr. Chavez, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Cortez, as attorney for Mr. Chavez, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is an adjudication of guilt following a deferred adjudication, and the defendant has a limited right of appeal, unquote. In fact, Mr. Chavez, is this your signature on this document also, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Cortez, as attorney for Mr. Chavez, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Once again, clause 671-908 is a first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. My understanding, Mr. Cortez, is that this is an uncontested first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Chavez, in clause 671-908, on the first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
True, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Chavez's probation? I remind you, you're still on the road.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Chavez has done well with reporting. We have seen him as recently as January 11th, 2022. He has paid $254 towards his fees. He has a balance of $1,325 and is current at this time. He has completed DWI education, victim impact panel. We have no record of enrollment or completion of CATSNP or him having started any of his 60 hours of community service. He's had 2 diluted drug tests, 1 positive for marijuana and 1 positive for alcohol on the Smart Start mobile, where he is currently testing 4 times per day and had 13 skips. His high BRAC occurred on January 1st, 2022 at 6:59 and 7:08 in the morning, registering at 0.052 and 0.79. He has no criminal history. This is his first MTR. And his officer's recommending that we add a scram device in lieu of Smart Start.
And Mr. Cortez, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, we're asking that he be continued on deferred and the motion be denied, and that the recommendation of scram be followed. He has done DWI education and he has done victim impact panel, and he actually has registered for CATSNP. So we have Mr. Chavez's attention now. And yes, Your Honor, we've had the jail discussion. He knows this. He's not going to get another chance, but he's committed to following the terms and completing this successfully, Your Honor.
And Ms. Gross, did you mention this is the second motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision on Mr. Chavez? Does that sound right?
No, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
I believe it's the first. Let me double check, Your Honor.
He had a prior one for marijuana, it looks like.
Well, and the marijuana was from previous use. He hasn't used since he's been on probation. It was, carboxy, not hydroxy.
Yeah, no, this is the first violation report, first MTR, Judge.
Okay. Got somebody else's documents mixed up with Mr. Chavez. That always makes things more exciting.
We don't want that to happen.
Oh, we don't, do we? Okay, fixed it. Okay, state recommendation.
Your Honor, the state agrees with probation's recommendation and requests substantial compliance within 10 days.
.079, legally intoxicated. Are we gonna have any more problems with drinking, Mr. Chavez?
No, Your Honor, not at
Good
all.
answer. And Susan, what was the original fine on Mr. Chavez's case, if you know?
Yes, Your Honor, his original fine was $850.
And 60 hours community service, that sound right?
Yes, Your Honor, 60 hours community service and the regular 3 classes.
Mr. Chavez, in cause 671-908, the court accepts your plea of true with an explanation. On the first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, I grant the state's motion to revoke your deferred adjudication probation. I adjudicate you guilty of the offense of obstruction of a passageway, roadway, or waterway. I sentence you to 6 months in the Bear County Jail, probated for 1 year. That's an $850 fine plus court costs, 60 hours of community service, DWI education course, DWI Victim Impact Panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, Scram Cam, ankle bracelet within 10 days, weekly UAs. Show me 4 clean weekly UAs and I'll put you back on monthly UAs. If you do that, I will not know it. You've got to let your attorney know, he'll let me know, and then I'll go ahead and enter the order, putting you back on monthly. Mr. Cortez, feel free to reapproach me in 90 days after he shows me 90 clean days on the Scram Cam. We can reevaluate whether we can go back to a Smart Start mobile and save some money.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will.
But Mr. Chavez is scaring me with a 076. That's very, very high.
Judge, may I give him some instructions, please?
Sure. Susan, what did I miss?
I believe that you covered everything.
And he gets credit for anything he's already done or monies he's already paid.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask because he's taken those courses, Your Honor. So,
of course. And state, what did I miss?
You're muted.
Nothing, Judge. All
Yeah,
good.
basically, his punishment is he's taking a conviction for the heinous offense of obstruction of a highway. So I'd call that a defense win, and where I come from, Adam.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, Sue.
Okay, Mr. Cortez and Mr. Chavez, Ms. Benavides will be sending you a new packet of information. It is a brand new application and data sheet for probation. You need to fill those out, sign them, and return those to immediately. Okay, you're starting all over, Mr. Chavez. You're going to have to go through orientation again. All right, so the intake department will be reaching out to you. If you have not heard from them by the time you wake up next Tuesday morning, then you need to call them at 210-335-7446 and let them know that they took away your deferred and put you on regular probation and that you need to go through orientation again. That number again is 210.
I'm sorry, man. 210.
That's all right. 335-7446. That's if you have not heard from them. Or you can always reach out to your attorney and your attorney can contact me and we can go that route as well. Okay. Continue utilizing your Smart Start mobile until you are strapped with the Scram device. Once you have your Scram device, you need to let Mr. Hinojosa know, and then he'll tell me, and then I'll tell the judge, and the judge will sign an order so you can go turn in your Smart Start and get rid of that expense. Okay.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. How do I get the Scram device? Will I get an email on where to go?
Judge is going to sign an order this afternoon once, well, no, he won't either, because that's going to come from intake. Continue blowing until you go through intake. They're going to give you the referral. Okay.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
And then once you go through intake and sign your new conditions, then you'll have 10 days to get that device.
Okay.
So
Yes, ma'am.
in the meantime, you need to keep blowing on Smart Start.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you can always confer with your officer because you're going to go back to the same officer.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Any problem with any of that, Judge?
Oh, Mr. Chavez, that's exactly correct. We're going to do an overlap, so you'll stay active on the Smart Start mobile device until your Scram device is active. Then you can turn in the Smart Start mobile device, okay?
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right.
And is the term of
Any
the,
further-
yeah, well, Your Honor, I had a question, as far as the Scram, once we get it on, is it half the term than usual?
He said
Well,
a minimum of 90 days, and if he does good, he will reconsider removing that and putting him on Smart Start.
But for half the term, it's
Yeah.
the length of that.
He's going to be on a device for half the term, regardless.
Okay,
of
yes,
that
exactly.
device
That's what
is.
I meant. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I
But
meant.
obviously, this Scram thing is $350 a month is punishing the defendant. I don't want to do that. I just want him to stop drinking. So that's
Yeah.
kind
Yes.
of
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
All right.
Understood.
all right. Good luck, Mr. Chavez. Thank you, Mr. Cortez. Y'all are
Thank you.
dismissed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Mr. Hill, are you ready on Miss Verdeja?
I am, Your Honor.
This is cause number 643-685 and 643-698, State of Texas versus Catherine Verdeja. Cause 643-685 is a motion to revoke community supervision. Cause 643-698 is also a motion to revoke community supervision. Ms. Verdeja is represented by Mr. Dale Hill. The first document on each of these cases is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. In clause 643-685, Ms. Verdeja, is this your signature on this document, ma'am? And your microphone is still turned off, ma'am.
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you. And Ms. Verdeja, also in clause 643-698, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you. And Mr. Hill, as attorney for Ms. Verdeja in both 643-685 and 643-698, is this your signature on both of these documents?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next document I'm looking at is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, and there's one for cause 643-685 and one for cause 643-698, both of which alleged to have both Mr. Verdeja's and Mr. Hill's signature. In fact, Ms. Verdeja, is this your signature on both these documents, one for each case?
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you. And Mr. Hill, is this your signature on both these documents, one for each case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Both of these documents reflect that this is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions, revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. In cause 643-685, Mr. Hill, my understanding is this is an uncontested motion to revoke community supervision. Is that accurate?
Your Honor, I did want to address one thing. She informed me that condition number 15, she actually did enroll and complete. However, her former paramour destroyed that document. So that otherwise, the other three are true.
Okay, well, I mean, ultimately, I'm just trying to determine whether or not we need a contested motion to revoke community supervision or not. She's welcome to plead either true or not true on an uncontested one, and then can explain her answers. I assume that's where you're really going, is it not?
It is.
All right. So these, you're not requesting a contested motion to revoke community supervision on either, although there will be explanations on whether she pleads true or not true. For instance, if she's already done the promote animal welfare education course, even if she doesn't have proof of it, if she's done it, she pleads not true with an explanation and explains. And at some point, someone's going to have to go back and contact that organization who probably has a record of her completion and will reconstruct it, correct?
That is what I'm attempting to do, Your Honor.
All right, so let's start with cause 643-685 on the motion to revoke community supervision. How does Ms. Verdeja plead? And it's either going to be true with an explanation or not true. I assume to cause 15, it's going to be not true with an explanation. Would that be correct?
Are you addressing me, Your Honor, or my
Yes,
client?
I'm addressing you. Sure.
Yes, it is, Your Honor. That
Okay.
is correct.
And Ms. Verdeja, is that correct? In clause number 643-685, basically you're entering a plea of true to all with an explanation, except condition 15, and that's not true with an explanation. Would that be correct, Ms. Verdeja?
She's gone, Judge.
Did we lose her? I'm afraid we lost Ms. Verdeja in the Bermuda Triangle of County Court 6 Zoom. She's not on anywhere, correct? I mean, sure, she's not still signed in. Does that sound right?
That would be a PAC question, but I don't see her anywhere,
And is
Judge.
Ms. Verdeja in jail currently? Is that where she is?
Yes.
Okay.
She's in jail, Your Honor.
All right. Well, we lost her. I guess we need to wait for her to see if she will reconnect.
Oh, no. Sorry.
You need to call the jail, or what do we need to
Yeah,
do?
let me get a hold of the jail.
Take a break. Smoke them if you got them.
Thank you.
Two-minute break. I'll be back when everybody's ready.
Yeah, it's Pat Benavides in County Court 6. We just lost Catherine Verdeja. She was on a Zoom MTR and they were starting the MTR and she's gone. County Court 6, Catherine Verdeja. Okay, thanks. Thanks.
Hi, this is Corporal Christina.
Corporal, it's Pat Benavides in County Court 6. We had Catherine Verdeja on Zoom and we were starting her MTR hearing and she's gone.
An email earlier this morning to all the main court coordinators, like either Kevin or Oscar would have got it. He should have notified y'all. Our systems were being brought down at 11:30.
Oh God, we did not get
30
it.
minutes to about 45 minutes is what I was told. That's an estimated time.
Okay.
And so there's nothing I could do at this point because it crashed all our computers. over
No, no,
here.
no. I understand, but I'll be honest, we didn't get it. But that's okay. All right, I'll let the judge know and see what he wants to do. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Aren't we fortunate?
Hey, Your Honor, I just called. Supposedly they sent out to court administration a letter from the jail where she's in the annex that their computers are being shut down at 11:30 for at least 45 minutes to an hour. And I did not get that information.
Okay. Dale, is it going to be convenient for you to continue this afternoon when they turn their computers back on?
Sure. Yes, you are.
All right. That would be a good time.
Your Honor, you need to tell me so that I can call them back and ask them to see if they can bring her back.
2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Dale, do you care?
No, whenever you want me to.
Let's try 2 o'clock.
Okay, I'll call them back and tell them.
Well, I need to log back on the same Zoom link.
Yes,
or
it'll be the same.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you then. You bet.
Thank you.
Okay, Your Honor, I'm going to try to get a hold of Linda.
Okay.
She is finishing up in the 144th and she should be coming on.
We'll just wait for her. No problem. I'll be standing by.
Okay, and I'm going to call and set it up for 2, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay, Susan, she's ordered.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Villarreal, do you have a copy of the police report narrative on Mr. Milligan's case that we're getting ready to take up eventually?
Yes, Judge, I have that.
Is it possible you could send that to me?
Yes, sir.
I just need the narrative. I don't need the entire police report.
Okay, I can send that.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.